Today I have a rather large book haul for you. It's basically expanding the entire summer. Summer tends to be the season of book buying for me because whenever I'm traveling around to different towns nearby, visiting people or going on day trips with my friends or my parents, I end up in their downtown looking for the bookstore, and I almost always find something that I want and I get it. So I end up accruing a lot of books. I have like 26 to show you, I think. I'm really excited about a lot of them. Some of them I've already read and already talked about, others not so much. Let's get right into it. First off, I guess we will go through the books I got towards the very beginning of the summer, 4 of which I have read already and kind of talked about, which are Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, which is hilarious. I love this one. A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, which is so good. Oh my god, you will probably cry, but this book lives up to the hype so much. I love the illustrations. I love everything about it. It was so amazing. Stardust by Neil Gaiman, which is basically like this adult fairy tale. I really enjoyed it. And The Martian by Andy Weir, which everyone has been talking about for ages, and so I finally got around to reading it, and I was expecting it to be good, and I was expecting it to be suspenseful, was not expecting it to be funny. I really was pleasantly surprised by this book, really enjoyed it. And then as far as the books I got towards the beginning of the summer that I have not read, another one that has been super hyped up recently was The Wrath in the Dawn by Renee Adahay. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, I apologize. Everyone's been talking about this recently, and so I just had to pick it up. I'm super excited to read it soon, but I have not gotten to it yet. Also on a whim, I picked up this, The Mapmaker's War by Ronlin. Oh, I have no idea how to pronounce that. Domingue? I'm so sorry. That person. This is the first book in a trilogy. I don't actually know anything else about it, but I like the cover, I like the premise. Hopefully it'll be good. Also, I have A Wild Sheep Chase by Haruki Murakami. This will be my second Murakami book. I've been meaning to pick up another one of his books for like a while, and I just haven't. I didn't know where to start because the first book I read of his was for a class. I didn't know where to go from there, so this is where a lot of people said to start out in general for his books, and so I figured it would be a good second choice, and I'm excited to finally get to that sometime soon. Next, I have a couple of books that I ordered from Book Outlet, one of which was The Ice Dragon by George R.R. Martin, which is this beautiful, illustrated, sort of short-ish story. It's like a children's story, kind of. I believe it takes place in Westeros, but like many eras before the events of A Song of Ice and Fire. Quick read, and it was beautiful, and I really enjoyed it. And I also got The End Games by T. Michael Martin, who you may know from How to Adult, that channel. I'm really excited to read it. Probably sometime towards Halloween, maybe? I mean, it does say it happened on Halloween. The world ended, and a dangerous game brought it back to life. So, I mean, sounds like it would be an appropriate time to read it around Halloween. The next 3 books that I have are all part of the same, like, trilogy, series, whatever. And hopefully I like them because I got all 3 of them. But yeah, I picked them up from a used bookstore on a whim, and they are Berlin Game, Mexico Set, and London Match. They look like these. All by Len Dayton, and I think they're sort of like mystery thriller type of things. These next few books that I'm going to show you all came from these 2 really cool bookstores that I visited a few weeks ago. One of them was called An Unlikely Story. This is one of the bookmarks they gave me, and it was opened by the author of Diary of a Wimpy Kid and his wife. It's over in like Plainsville, Massachusetts. I took a little ride down there. It's not too far away from where I am, and checked it out. It's super cute, and I left from there with 3 books. First of which is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Look how freaking pretty it is. It is so beautiful. I'm really excited to read this one. I also got The Magicians by Lev Grossman, which I've been hearing good things about for quite a long time. And then the last thing that I picked up from that store was Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. I've been hearing about this a little bit recently, and when I actually had a chance to look at it in person and flip through, it's so colorful and adorable, and the premise sounds amazing. It's as a sidekick and supervillain, Nimona and Lord Blackheart are about to wreak some serious havoc. It looks so cute, and I'm super excited to read this. I want to get more into graphic novels, and this looks like a perfect one. And then I also went to this other cool bookstore with my parents that is basically this enormous warehouse just filled with books. There was just so much to see. It was totally overwhelming, but really cool. I forget the name of it. I'll put it somewhere on the screen. And I got a few books from there. The first one I picked up was just kind of random. I was browsing. I'd never heard of it before, but it looked really cool, and I liked the cover. And it's called Johannes Cabal the Necromancer, or Johannes. I also picked up Paper Daughter by Jeanette Ingold. I love this cover as well. I think it's a YA contemporary type of story. I also got a book that I already read but did not own yet and really wanted to, which is Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan, and it's amazing. I love the characters. I love everything about it. It's so good, and I really enjoy this particular edition. This feels like duct tape, and I don't know, it's really cool. I also picked up A Prince Without a Kingdom, which I think is a YA or middle grade read. I like that it's one of those hardcovers without a dust jacket, but yeah, it looks really interesting. It was translated from some other language. It looks really good. I was intrigued, and so hopefully it'll be a good one. And then finally, the last book I picked up from that store was The Elixir of Immortality by Gabby Gleichman. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I'm really bad at pronouncing names. I'm really sorry. This thing is a tome. Oh my god, it is huge, but it looks fascinating. I believe it's historical fiction, and it spans just this huge amount of time. It just sounds so interesting. I had to pick it up. The next thing I have to show you is a little bit different. Everyone's been talking about these as well. It's one of those adult coloring books, The Enchanted Forest by Johanna Basford. These things are so pretty, and it just looks like a lot of fun. I mean, who doesn't like a good coloring book? I'm excited to play with this. And finally, the last two books I have to show you I got while I was on like a little mini vacation with my parents. The first book I picked up was The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch, who I've heard a number of people talk about. I know Sam from Novels and Nonsense loves this book. My boyfriend just recently picked it up as well and loved it, so that I had to read it, so I finally picked up my own copy. I really like this cover, actually. It's really pretty. It's like looking at the city almost through like a rainy window. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Next, I picked up a book I've been wanting for quite a while now, which is Why We Broke Up by Daniel Handler, which is also, probably you know him as Lemony Snicket. It was illustrated by Maria Coleman. The illustrations are super cute. The main character of the book is writing a letter to the boy she just broke up with, and has this box, basically a box of memories of like stuff that she relates to the relationship, and so she's writing a letter about all of these objects and like how they relate to why they broke up. It's supposed to be the main character drawing them, and they're super cute. Then I also picked up The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery, which I've heard a number of people in BookTube talk about, but the reason I picked it up at this particular time is that this one happens to be an autographed copy, so I was like, you know, why not pick it up? It's there. I have been meaning to read it and have been meaning to pick it up. This is the perfect excuse to finally get my hands on it. Like, why not get the autographed copy if you can, you know? And then I also got a book that I've kind of noticed in a lot of displays for a while now, but hadn't really picked it up, hadn't really looked at it, and that was The Great Glass Sea by Josh Wheel. I love this cover. I love the color. It's so soft. I'm intrigued by it. It's an epic tragedy of brotherly love swathed in the magic of Russian folklore and set against the dystopian backdrop of an all-too-real alternate present. A breathtaking novel of love, loss, and life. And then finally, the last book that I have to show you is Horns by Joe Hill. I finally found a used copy and was like, oh yeah, I meant to read that like months and months ago when the movie was coming out, and I never did. So I finally picked it up and I'm excited to get into it. And that is it. That is my kind of enormous book haul. No, there's no possible way that I can hold this, but I'm going to try anyways. Oh my god. There, now you can see most of them, I think. I gotta go put all these away somewhere now. So yeah, hooray! This has been my book haul of like 26 books. My name is Jackie, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!